Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
All right, welcome, Journeymen Lounge podcast listeners. We appreciate your tenure. This is our 115, episode 115. You're with your mainstays here on my far left. We got Woj, Capitan, our producer. We got Ryan, our color commentator, and our movie buff. And on my right, we have a special guest, Chris. Chris, please introduce yourself. Let us know.
Who are you?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows who I am.
Very existential
Let's move
question.
forward.
Raboito.
But I really want to move the needle over to Chris. We want to get an introduction out of Chris. He's been a good friend of mine for many years. But let's get over that and get into your sports affiliations and a little bit about what makes you tick.
Yeah, so sports affiliation. So I was born in St. Louis, grew up there for a good first half of my life. So I'm definitely a Cardinals fan.
Baseball.
You know that one of the NFC blah. I'm in an NLC where they went to 11 straight NLC championships. They went to 4 World Series.
They beat Texas. I remember that with you. Yeah.
They won in 2006, 2011, so it's been a fun little ride watching them. They've been down here, but every team's got to be down. It's ebbs and flow style.
So then what you got for basketball?
Basketball is going to be the Bulls. Obviously,
Bulls.
St. Louis didn't have a team when we lived down there, so Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, everything Chicago except
for baseball.
Baseball, but I'll root for the White Sox.
Okay.
I just can't root for the Cubs being a Cardinals fan.
Of course,
obviously
sense.
Division rivals. You're not gonna fucking root against.
And I got a fun memory with this guy too. I just want to drop in there when the Hawks were doing incredible. Me and you shot down to downtown Chicago,
championship parade,
and we're at the championship parade. So that was kind of an incredible moment for us. A little bonding experience. Yeah, I know. I just remember. I think their first win. You're like, Bob, we're going to this. I'm like, fucking, I'm there.
Yes, we did. Hopped on that metro train and we
rode
made sure
out
we
there.
were down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So let's get right into. I mean, we're just kind of we do that with every guest, but we're gonna get into the Chicago kind of check-in because I like to say I'm right sometimes, guys, because we're gonna start with the Bulls. Everybody was like, look at their hot start. Look at me. Look at me.
You did say this, though. You did.
And I said, wait.
We'll give it a minute.
I said, wait.
I feel like I always said that. Like, they always just root back to what they are.
Jesus Christ. They're now
10 seed.
They're 9-12. They look like booty. And I knew it. On the other side, I mean, do we really have any other comments for the Bulls?
There's still promise. You know what? I'm not as negative. I'm not as cynic, but I still they need to step up their defense and they need to be a little bit more aggressive in the paint. But
Still need a power forward.
Nah. Tear this place down, turn it into a parking lot.
Yeah, I don't watch. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched them.
That's
in a long
okay.
Time. They don't really have like any big name superstar that you would want to go out and see, do they?
It depends. If you're more of an NBA person, I would say yes. But if you're more of a casual fan, no.
I'm coming from a casual point of view fan.
No.
Like what's going to draw me to come
Josh
down to the
Giddey
United
is a
Center
really
right
good
now?
basketball player.
if we had tickets, you'd come and party with us. Yeah,
Of course,
Yeah,
because
right.
I mean it's a professional sporting event, and you don't get to go to very many of those unless you're like super rich, right? So you're going to take any opportunity you can.
Definitely.
But as a casual sports fan, I'm not going to go out there and go watch the Bulls spend $200 on food and all the other kind of stuff. And let's be real, you guys have been to the United Center, right?
Yeah.
Those seats are super tight. Like they pack you in. So why do I want to be on top of somebody when I don't even know the guys I'm watching?
True. I would say that if it's not a prominent thing, like there are people who are like, I just go to any event and I'm like, hey, I'm at a Bulls game this week, I'm at a Hawks game this week. I'm like, good on you, man, to do it. I think there is a little bit of something about, like, we're watching the Dallas Lions game, Dallas-Detroit game. There you go. And I feel super comfortable. Like, yes, it would be cool to be there, but I'm also like, I'm hanging out. I have a beer with buddies. Like, hey, we could go order a pizza if we want.
But if let's say this is Green Bay, Chicago, I mean, you want to be right there. Like, the atmosphere is different when it's your team.
Without a doubt. But I would also just kind of go, and this is a perfect segue here, is that the Chicago-Green Bay rivalry is only psyched to be there when the teams are good and they're going at each other.
True.
So right now we have a fight for the division between Green Bay and Chicago, in which they have 2 games remaining, and that will decide the division. Because I did see today, if Chicago loses, they fall down to the 7th seed.
7th seed, yeah.
So it's like fucking, this is a win, or like you might, there's still enough games left where Chicago could blow that, be completely out of the playoffs. So like, now that the teams are good, I would say like going to a game, whether it's at Lambeau or Chicago, like it still would be a fucking sick time. I just have a bit of an issue of, it's now starting to get colder. We could be seeing like a 12-degree type of game in Chicago, which is fucking sick. Not the greatest to be there sometimes. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
if you're not well lubricated and you're not.
I went to the coldest game at Soldier Field when they played the Atlanta Falcons when it was -12, I believe.
Oh God!
I was there during I went to a Bears-Packers game when Jordy Nelson put you
Jordy
guys
who?
away.
Jordy
Nelson.
Nelson.
I was
Did I
also
say
at
it
that
different?
game.
No, my bad. I was at that game, and you were at that
You
game?
guys are at the same game?
The one with
Froze
the winner.
my-
Winner
yeah.
goes to playoffs. Loser goes home. Second bomb. You guys won.
Yeah,
on.
and we won, but it was like -10 or
It
20
was like
out.
a
It was
snowstorm before.
I'm really glad I was
fucking
at my house
awful.
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, same.
I got arrested that night, but moving forward,
Yeah,
he
you
did.
said that on the pod.
Yeah.
It was actually a really cool game to be at. I'm not gonna lie. Like once you got there, I think my adrenaline was so hyped and I was just so bundled up with like 3 pairs of pants and sweaters and things. Like I was like, this is fucking great. Like it was so cool. But then like afterwards, like the next day, I was feeling it.
yeah.
I was sick.
Yeah,
and,
but like
know,
when you're in the moment, you know, and the excitement's
You were there
going,
when
and
Jordy-
I
yeah.
Good.
like.
It was basically like a playoff game.
Yeah,
It was.
and
You know.
I went to the Rams game too when Trubisky when they were on that run.
Yes,
You know,
yes, that cold one.
yeah, that
At
really,
the end of the year.
yeah, and we're like it was like kind of like a back and forth battle, but it was so loud in Soldier Field, and like at no point in time was I ever cold because I'm on my feet, I'm cheering, you know, like you're moving
there,
around
you're
and doing
present.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. That atmosphere is what really hypes me up, right?
Sure.
That's why I would rather be there. Like as a casual football fan, I'd rather go watch Dallas Lions. I'd rather go watch some other football game, even if it's
Gotcha.
not the Bears versus Packers, because I love football, right? I like basketball, but I don't like it enough to go watch
Yeah.
other teams that aren't my city.
Now you guys mentioned that you went to the Blackhawks parade when they won, right? Previously,
Correct.
I would put NHL atmosphere definitely above NBA. Football to me, I think, is like top dog. But then you have Blackhawks, like NHL,
Yes,
just
yeah.
in general. I'm not
Yes.
just going Blackhawks,
But-
but any NHL game I've gone to, it's a different.
It's sick.
People are a lot more amped up.
Have you seen
Baseball
Eastern
is like-
European basketball and the way that they like are just like exuberant?
Yeah.
Like it looks like football. It looks like European football.
Yeah,
it is
But the
completely
problem
different
with
atmosphere.
that type of shit is that there's a possibility that somebody gets murdered after the game.
Yes.
Like it happens
course,
almost
of
every
course.
night.
Well,
Like a
but I
Premier
mean, like
League
that's
game.
the kind of I mean, if they had football atmosphere at the United Center constantly, right? I'd be there in a heartbeat. I would want to buy tickets.
I mean,
for
have you
that.
ever seen Green Street Hooligans? They have to
Yeah.
literally like separate the.
They actually have to do that.
factions of
They
fans.
do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah.
cannot go over here because we know that you will
You
murder
just start
somebody.
fights. Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to say too, like with the Bulls, like when they're good though,
In the
like,
90s,
the
come on,
atmosphere.
man.
When even with Derrick Rose for that 3 years, like when we're competitive and we have a star and like a chance.
Keyword being star though.
You're right. People believe they'll come out and they'll be more.
Chicago fans show up. Dude.
These teams, the Bulls for the last 10 years have kind of been spinning their wheels. Like it's not,
And that's
yeah,
what I mean. Like
yeah.
they've given me no reason as the casual fan to want to show up. Like the
Right.
Blackhawks have.
Yes.
Because they've given us
Bedard,
and they've done things to bring us back into it. Right? The Bulls, it's just like blah.
I would say the Blackhawks, man, are actually
Good
like
assessment.
they're doing decently well. They're middle of the road, but like it's a lot better than they were last year. They were like winning like 4 games every 12. So
And Bedard's looking
and
fucking
Bedard I think
impressive.
missed time last year. So like he's leading the team in like assists, goals, and points or some shit like that, and time on the ice or some shit. So don't quote me on that, but. The Blackhawks like being back into relevance is kind of like swapping. Like I'm a Bulls fan through and through, but the interest is not there. When I look at that, I'm like, you guys lost to New Orleans. You guys lost to the Trailblazers.
Right.
Like,
We're
you're
losing to teams that we
to
should be
bad
putting to
teams,
bed.
And I'm just like, it's going down the same path.
And we all know how bad traffic is to get down
Oh,
there. And we know how
everywhere,
expensive it is. And it's like, why do I want to spend this type of time and effort when they haven't even won a championship since 96?
98,
I mean,
98.
or 98. Sorry, you're
Okay.
right. My apologies.
No problem.
But the Blackhawks have won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
more.
what keeps bringing us back, right?
They're more relevant.
Well,
yeah.
I think too, like you're excited about the Blackhawks and the Bears, regardless of record, because they have young talent, drafted high,
Yes.
highly touted. You want to see if they develop. You're excited.
And hockey is such a
You're
more
excited for the
explosive,
future.
explosive sport compared to basketball. Basketball's more of, I'd say, an art. Obviously there's some aggressiveness to it, but hockey is straight testosterone and speed. I
Yeah,
fucking love it.
But again, he's talking about
Like-
the fact that the Bulls are looking like an old team who missed their prime.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you have all these guys like, yes, Giddey is a great
Kobe
younger
White's good,
piece.
you know.
Kobe White, but like everybody else around there is kind of like you just get this feeling of like you're out of your prime and you're not like people,
they just exist.
People
yeah.
out of their prime can be great plug-ins when you need it in a lineup, but you don't want to rely on a guy like I'm gonna say it. I don't like again. Fucking right about Vooch yet again. It's like you're giving us B- type of productivity for a fucking starting center in the NBA contract.
Yeah.
It's like if you're giving me that, you're out of your prime because you were averaging 20 and 18 when you were with the Magic for 10 years or whatever. So a lot of the Bulls are just there's nothing exciting to see. I'm thinking they're gonna keep Giddey, probably trade Kobe White, or give him a terrible contract or something like that. That's
Seems
just
like
never
they
going to
spend
work
the
out.
money because they have to, not because they're rewarding
Being
the
Bulls
strategic.
management is easily recognized as some of the worst of the Chicago.
But wasn't
four.
that guy supposed to change all of it? Isn't isn't that
AK?
why they got rid of Garpax?
It's never going to change
It's
until
because he was going to change
It's
everything.
never going to change until Jay Reinsdorf sells the team. It starts from the top and comes down.
Well, he's
T to
selling
B.
the White Sox.
T to B.
Well, if he sells the White Sox, then they have like their White Sox chances. 'cause
I mean, dude, Jesus Christ, what do you
Talk
what-
about 5 years. Like
Yeah.
didn't he didn't Isabi or whatever his name
Yeah.
was say like five
All-
years, give him 5 years.
all
that's
I'm
why he invested
saying-
more.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that the White Sox look bad, and we're just we're
Whoa,
not
whoa,
gonna go.
We didn't do as bad as we were last season. We
There
still
you go.
suck.
And that's how
but
somebody whose
improvements.
team is doing shitty talks. We didn't do as bad as last year, guys.
Well, the Cardinals said the same thing.
We won a couple
They were.
games more.
I'm just saying the
Woohoo!
games that we were losing were usually single-digit losses. They weren't blowouts. And I'm saying this as a baseball
Sure.
player. Or,
We're not going to take too much
Yeah.
time on
Yeah.
the
Hold on,
baseball.
I gotta love his take though. He's talking about the Bears and his thoughts kind
Yes,
of on.
let's
Yeah,
circle back.
let's parlay that thing right over to your thoughts on the Bears. You were going on this during our break, but thoughts on the Bears and kind of what they're doing and Caleb and we want to know where your thoughts are.
Yeah, so I heard kind of like an interesting take today, and it was on 670 The Score, so I'm not going to take credit for this, obviously, because it
Shout
wasn't
out.
mine. But they were asked, why is Ben Johnson not prioritizing Caleb's development yet? It seems like they're working on everything else but Caleb. And the great take that I heard from it was, they actually are making him a priority by fixing the offensive line, by fixing the running game, by getting the receivers going where they need to go. Because once you have all of those in places, those little small accuracy issues that he's having is going to get so much better. And once you get Caleb to where you need him to be, all the rest of the team is already there, and now you already running on so much more. Look at what they've done with no linebackers. Look at what they've done with half of their defense out. Right?
Yeah.
The next man up mentality of this team is no joke. And that's what I think makes them dangerous, is because once they actually get to Caleb and can go ahead and start coaching him the way they need to, it's over.
I mean, I would just piggyback on that by saying, like, the fact that Caleb was on his ass, like, the most in the NFL last year is, like, that's why you had to address the offensive line. But then it's also a twofold success, is that now they're being able to run the ball. I mean, I've been saying it for years, is that, like, you can have competent running backs in the NFL without a lot of talent. Like, you don't need to have a Derrick Henry or a whatever. You got to just get them the ball in creative ways. You got to be able to run inside, outside. I will just say, because it pisses me off more than anything, a pitch to the fucking inside. What are we doing here? It's
Run
the most
straight up the middle
It's
all
the
the
most
time.
annoying play I've ever seen. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it.
I just needed to say that on record. Thank you. I was going for that.
Oh God.
But I mean, dude, it comes down to this: the Bears need to be playing as they have been playing, which is simply keeping it in games, having the defense fucking figure out some sort of turnover, game-changing play, special teams,
Winning
whatever.
one-score games is a skill.
Yeah. But this is where I have a lot of hesitancy with the Packers, being that Josh Jacobs seems to be always injured, but he's like, well, I can go for 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. I could do that anytime, flip of the hat. Jordan Love seems to be passing like a fucking asshole, where he's like, I'm just going to throw 4 touchdowns,
Sometimes.
right? I'm
And
starting him.
Well, sometimes.
I'm starting him this week, but he's just like, hey, I'm going to throw out 4 touchdowns this week, and we'll just have
In
a
other
day.
weeks, he's playing the Browns.
like 160 yards.
And he can't even get a first down.
Sure, but I'm
you
just
know.
saying, more often than not, he's slinging the rock.
Yeah.
So those 2 things definitely scare me against
lost to the Browns.
a Bears team that I'm like, I'm not. If it comes down to a Cairo Santos field goal, I'm worried.
Yes.
I'm like,
I think they should have kept Jake Moody.
Why not, man?
I
like,
mean,
I think Cairo's good.
But now, going back to the whole Bears, though, Poles has done a good job getting the team to where they need to. Obviously, we had to break it all down, and he needed to rebuild
have
it
to-
up. And you have to go through those losing seasons, right?
you have to lose 12
And
games to get better.
I think, though, with Ben Johnson being here, and those 2 collaborated together to get those 3 offensive linemen,
Right.
to get Manungai in the 7th round, to get the certain players that are actually making big contributes. I think Ben Johnson had a big part in getting some of these players.
Well,
in.
I would agree.
I would also just throw out there that Ben Johnson, like, this is what you pay for. Most sought-after coach, best offense in the league last year. It's not the best offense in the
believe they
year
spent the money.
in the league here, but
I
I'm
know,
like,
that's-
dude, this is what we want.
And
We
they
want
spent the
we
money for
want
Dennis
results.
Allen.
We want results right away.
When was the last time you heard of a Bears team ever once going to get a good offense, like spending players on the offensive line, but then going out spending money on the coach, and not only the coach, the assistant coaches? To get Dennis Allen, you had to spend some money.
I think he was like, hey, who wants?
I
this
don't
guy?
know.
But
I mean,
what do you got, Ryan?
I was just saying, I don't feel like they've done that since Jerry Angelo was the GM and he hired Lovey, and we got like
And he had a winning
Oh,
season.
who do
those
we have?
offensive line.
Lovey
We had
was
a
the best coach
Yeah.
they've had.
we had a good
Great
offensive line. We had a consistent defense.
Best coach they had?
You guys are formidable.
Oh,
man.
since- I did not hear-
I said since here.
I was like,
said
praise
since then. No,
praise
no,
be,
no, no.
praise be, Ditka.
Outside of Ditka and George Hallis.
Hurricane
Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah.
It hurt me.
No, I'm
Scared
not
me for a
stupid.
second there.
No.
I don't know.
All right.
Stir up the brothers now.
I just hope
That's a safety.
Is that a safety?
That
It is a safety.
I
Are
believe
they
that-
going to call him down at the half-yard line?
No, it's a safety.
Watch, because it's going to say where they hit
Nope,
him.
safety,
Oh,
there
yeah,
it is.
Safety.
What a
Sorry, we're watching the
dumbass.
game right now, and I have Detroit's defense.
I hope nobody picked correct score here.
I was gonna say,
5-3 is going to be the final score.
I was gonna say, I you guys know I've always been championing for Ben Johnson and doing
Yeah.
it the whole time. And this is what I wanted to see: improvement all around. The team culture is improved. Like you said, you get a good defensive coordinator who's been a head coach, who's got leadership experience, who can command the unit by himself without having Ben Johnson to help him. It's like when we had. Hopefully this guy will be better than when we had, but like we had like Nagy and Fangio that one year.
Fangio, yeah,
was
exactly.
really good, and then afterwards Nagy wasn't so good. So hopefully Ben Johnson's better than that. But kind of reminds me of that team where we were like, we're on the rise. We got a good a pretty good defense, and a pretty good offense that we don't usually have both. Like so.
And the reason why I have high hopes for that is because, Nagy, right? Yeah. Oh, my God, we had a good first season, and then it all fell short, right? And you saw in Kansas City, they didn't miss a beat.
no.
Right? I mean, it was obviously not
Yeah.
Nagy that was the reason for Kansas City's success. You can see the Lions right now that Ben Johnson was a big part of that
absolutely.
success. And it's already transitioned over into the Bears.
Yeah.
So that's why I have higher hopes than Trustman,
Yeah.
than John Fox,
Absolutely.
than Nagy, than any of these other former coaches after Lovey. Because
Yeah.
Eberflus, ooh.
Eberflus, not Eberflus. It's Eberflus.
That guy sucked. But all I would say is that we were due for a good head coach. I'm not gonna be one of those people who are like Ben Johnson for president. He's the greatest coach of all time.
He's pretty fucking awesome
I'm
so
just
far.
saying
You
that
ripped
like
off his shirt. That was funny as
this
hell.
is
Captured
this
the
is
city.
definitely what the Bears needed for a while.
This is what not only the Bears, the city, the fan base, everybody.
But I'm just saying
y'all been in a
true
drought
head coach,
for a long
guy,
time.
Yeah, true head coach though, a guy who knows football and then also is commanding enough. Like this is the one story that I love about the Bears coming out was that there's a couple rookies. I don't even think they put their names in there in the article, but it was like they were fucking around. They missed curfew. Like one of the first days of like training camp, cut immediately. Ben Johnson comes out with a statement and goes, "We're here to work. This is a professional. This is a business. We don't tolerate that bullshit. If you don't want to work, you're gone." I love that. It's a zero tolerance mentality, which is what the Bears have needed. You've been too light with all the players and trying to be diva managers and stuff like that.
Brand on Good Morning Football, I believe
Brand.
it was, right?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that his name?
He's awesome.
And he was talking about how, like, in years past, he talked to Nagy, he talked to this coach, he talked to that coach, And this year, when he went up to Hallis Hall on Bears Packers week, no, he talked to Caleb, and that was it. He never got access to Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson doesn't have time for you because he's worried about the tape. And not only does the Bears deserve like an actual real coach finally, right? An innovative coach, one that understands blocking, one that understands that running the ball is going to get you where you need. How many times has a new coach come in halfway through the season, they're running it and then they abandon it, right? Not this one. He has
never abandoned the run. It opens up doors.
He is on the ground. That's where we're going to live. That's it.
I mean,
that's how you protect your quarterback. That's how you get your quarterback better.
We've been saying this. I've been saying this for years. You establish the run. You could make yourself an incredible offense just by doing that small,
Yeah, I'll flip it over to the Packers last little quick
we got
before
Bears Packers this week.
Green Bay scares me.
But what I'm saying though is
Green Bay's
just
solid.
I mean, this is the division comes down to these two games. So Green Bay could easily still win these two. They're in the playoffs. I think Green Bay is a good playoff team. I don't think they're like scary dominant, but like I think they could outlast a team like, hey, we need another first down here, we need another possession.
I like that thought process.
I think they could at least go far with
the
that.
Playoffs. They're that team that wins games they're not supposed to. Like what was it? Packers versus Cowboys. They went into the Cowboys and just
spanked
them,
them.
right?
Ooh, yeah.
And nobody was expecting that, were they? No, but and then they go up against another team and they flop.
Yeah,
The
for some reason, San Francisco owns us in every
you can never beat them,
playoff.
And somehow Robbie Gould always gets the best of you.
Yeah. Sure. So I'll say this about Green Bay. I think that losing Kraft definitely hurt our offensive caliber machine because outside of that, we have a mishmash of wide receivers that are not you're not going to be writing big checks for yet. You have Dobbs, you have Wicks, you have Golden, you have all these people that they add to the offense, but they're not like an Amon-Ra.
I think your wide receivers have made Jordan Love look good this year with his stats because they've made some crazy catches for that guy.
So I'm not taking away their capabilities. I'm not taking away what they've been providing to the offense, but I guess I would love to see a little bit more. And I think Jaden Reed maybe he'll be coming back, or I'm not sure if he's out, but I would love to have more of a high caliber talent on there because safeties and corners are now going to have to, now we have to cover him. So I think it creates more opportunities. But losing Kraft, that hurt us deep for our offensive push. And like you said, Jacobs, is he hurt? Is he not hurt? It's kind of like, but Wilson's been doing well, so it's not like we have a bad backup. So like I said, I think we're dangerous, but in order to beat the Bears, I'll say this right now, the Bears defense creates takeaways. We need to prevent them to get any. If they get 0 turnovers, Green Bay will win this game.
I definitely. I mean, it's gonna hopefully be a good game. That's what I'm. Really
I think it's gonna be a very competitive game.
All right, so I just had a good idea for the editor in my mind is working here. Yep. So we're going to separate this out into a nice little package of episodes. 115 is going to have 4 different parts. We have the Charlie McQuaid. We're going to have this nice little ditty about Chicago sports and entertainment in general here. So we're going to cut it. We're going to come back 115 part 2 or B, whatever the fuck it is.
We label it, yeah.
That's going to be fantasy football. We're going to get into that next. And then we are going to get it going with the movie review, Die Hard. It's a long one, but it's a good one.
Settle in. Yeah.
Settle in.
Stay with us.
All right. I like it. Good cut.